All right, good stuff. So thank you so much, everybody, for that. I appreciate it. We have, can you believe it? We're already at the end of the day. It's already been a whole day of Reactive Summit. Feels like just a few minutes ago we all converged here and got to listen to the amazing Professor Carl Hewitt open our conference and kick things off. And I'm still a buzz about that. And then, of course, what came after was something that you really kind of have to experience to appreciate, which is that the Reactive community is diverse. I mean, obviously, I hope that's true for the people, but what I'm talking about in this particular case is technologically, it's diverse, right? There's a really interesting, very varied sort of ecosystem of technologies that builds on that, right? There that stand on that particular on those pillars, and the result is, I think, a much more vibrant place. And you can see that, of course, first and foremost, in our sponsors. We have platinum sponsors, Lightbend, of course, the amazing creators of Akka and Play and all these other wonderful things. We've got VMware on the team, the company for whom I work, TIS. We've got EopWorks and Axonics. So all these organizations have just done a lot, and they're all very different. They're all coming at it from different perspectives, but they all want to help you build better systems in terms of reactive programming and reactive software. So I can't believe it. I just really can't kind of keep in my head anymore what it means to be reactive, because it used to be very simple. If you were reactive, if you had the things that that modeled the tenets of the Reactive Manifesto, and I suppose that's still true. But in that, reactive is so pervasive, it's so ubiquitous, and it's the default sort of approach for so many different technologies. I think things are just very interesting now. It's almost not interesting that it's reactive. I mean, it used to be, right? But now you can go for entire years and not bump into an API that isn't reactive if you really want to, right? And we saw that today. Obviously, we saw people from Axonic doing presentations on event sourcing, right? With Axon, and then we saw RSocket, right, which is a reactive protocol. It's a binary protocol over the wire that reifies the concepts of reactive programming at the network level. And then we saw obviously Carl Hewitt, the creator of the actor's paradigm, right? That set off a whole revolution, if you will, right? And then we saw, just also different people. We saw Akka serverless. I mean, if you want to do serverless at scale, what better way to do that than that, right? And then we saw Oracle. That's so cool. We saw Oracle today talk about using the Oracle database from the R2DBC driver, the Reactive Relational Database Connectivity abstraction driver. And I can't think of a more sort of entrenched database than Oracle, right? It's who hasn't worked with an Oracle database at some point. So the fact that there's now a reactive end-to-end reactive integration for that is just it's as mainstream as it gets, right? And so yeah, you start with something like Akka and Akka Streams and Reactor 10 years ago, and you get to 2021, and now it's just like, well, of course you're using reactive. Really, the question is, why wouldn't you be using reactive? That's the occasional edge case you have to think about, right? And so tomorrow will be more of that, my friends. Tomorrow will be, it'll be an opportunity to explore this broad ecosystem, and I'll be kicking things off with my friend and Google developer advocate James Ward. It'll be fun. Bring your thinking hats. Bring your IDEs. We'll have some fun together, and then enjoy the closing day of the show. So thank you to everybody who came. I hope you got something out of it, as always, and be sure to tweet at Reactive Summit if you liked anything today, or if you thought it was fun, or whatever, thoughts, feedback, tomatoes. We like them all. Thank you so much for your time, everybody.